So you're at Disneyland. It's 9:12 a.m. You got a churro in one hand, a kid pulling on the other, and you're in line to get into the park. The line moves. No one checks your ticket. No one looks at your phone. You just walk in. The gate beeps. Your face did something. You're not sure what. Disney started using facial recognition at both Disneyland and California Adventure on April 28th. Your face gets scanned, turned into a string of numbers, and matched to your ticket. Officially, it's optional. Practically, most lanes use it. The manual line is slower, tucked off to the side, and staffed like it's 2003. No one hands you a form. No one explains where the data goes. You're managing strollers and backpacks and the general physics problem of moving a family through a crowd. In that moment, opting out isn't a choice. It's a project. It's not that the system is aggressive. It's just very committed to being the easiest option available, which, in a theme park, is basically the same thing. You've probably noticed how entry lines work lately. Not just to parks, stadiums, airports, even some office buildings. There's a camera, a half-second pause, and you're through. Why does this exist? Because checking IDs takes people. People take wages, breaks, and occasionally sick days. A camera doesn't. What are people actually doing at the gate now? Mostly standing there while software decides if their face matches a number. The same check that used to be a person looking at a ticket and then at you is now a person watching a screen in case the software shrugs. The repetition is simple. Scan, match, green light. Do it 50,000 times a day. The inefficiency it replaces is human time. One person can process, say, 30 guests per minute with a scanner. With facial recognition, the throughput goes up because the thinking part is offloaded. It's not that employees were bad at their jobs, it's that the job was mostly repeating the same 3-second task. And if a task is that repeatable, someone eventually asks whether a lens can do it instead. That's where we are. The process looks complicated, but most of that complexity comes from things no one thought to remove. So what is this thing, technically? It's facial recognition, which is just pattern matching with extra steps. Step 1. It takes a photo of your face at the gate. That's the UI layer, the camera you see. Step 2. Software maps your face. It measures distances, eye to eye, nose to chin, cheekbone width. Not your whole face, just key points. Usually 60 to 80 of them. Step 3. Those measurements get turned into a vector, which is a long list of numbers. Think of it like a barcode, but for your cheekbones. That's the numerical identifier. It's not a photo anymore. It's math. Step 4. That number gets compared to another number, the one generated when you bought your ticket and uploaded a selfie, or when you first scanned in. If the numbers are close enough, the system says match and opens the gate. All of this runs on back-end servers, sometimes on-site, sometimes cloud, depending on the setup. The system follows if-then rules. If the face vector matches a ticket vector above a confidence threshold, then unlock. If not, then flag for a human. It doesn't understand who you are. It just knows whether two lists of numbers line up, and like the channel, by the way. Because vectors don't care about context, they just compare, which is why lighting, angles, or a new hat can still confuse it. The technology works through the user interface, but the decision happens one layer down, in code. It's automation, not awareness. The practical reasons are straightforward. Cost, speed, efficiency. Those three show up in every ops meeting. Labor is the big one. Disney's parts division, now run by Josh D'Amaro, announced about 1,000 job cuts as part of a $7.5 billion cost reduction plan. Facial recognition lanes need fewer staff per guest. You still have security, but you don't need someone at every turnstile checking tickets all day. Over millions of entries per year, that adds up. Speed is next. A manual check might take 4 to 6 seconds per guest when you include fumbling for phones and tickets. A face scan is under 2 seconds if the system is confident. Multiply that by the front gate at 8 a.m. and you've cut the line's physical length, which means fewer crowd control staff too. Efficiency is the umbrella term. It's not just faster entry. It's fewer reprinted tickets, fewer guest complaints about lost passes, and data that feeds into park operations. The system knows when and where you entered. which helps with staffing and flow planning. It's not that the company woke up wanting more data. It's just that the cheapest way to move people now happens to collect it. The operational logic is simple: reduce repeated human actions, and the budget line for those actions goes down. Here's what it cannot do. It can't tell if you're happy to be there. It can't tell if you're the same person after 10 years, because faces change. It doesn't know you. It knows a math problem shaped like you. It's not intelligent. It doesn't reason. If your identical twin uses your ticket, the system might say yes. If you wear heavy stage makeup, it might say no. It follows if-then rules, and rules don't handle edge cases gracefully. It also can't forget. Unlike a person who might not recognize you next week, the vector can be stored. How long and where depends on policy, which most people in line aren't reading. The limitation isn't the camera. It's that we treat math like memory, and math doesn't get bored. The slight irony is we built a system to avoid human judgment, and now we depend on it not making one. Because if it's wrong, a human has to step in anyway. And if you're curious about these trade-offs, subscribe, because we get into the knock-on effects next. It's not that the tech is unreliable. It's just very committed to being confident, even when it shouldn't be. Day to day, the visible change is the gate. You walk through. Staff watch screens instead of tickets. The role that was check ticket, Greek guest becomes monitor exceptions, reset kiosks. Behind the scenes, the data flows into other systems. Park ops can see entry surges by the minute. Security can flag if the same face appears at multiple entrances quickly. That's not theory. It's what the software is built to log. For guests, anonymity shifts. You can't stand in a crowd without being a data point if you enter through a camera lane. That's new. Historically, a theme park was one of the few places you could be part of a mass of people without a record. For workers, the task changes from interaction to supervision. You're not helping families with tickets. You're watching for red lights on a dashboard. The work doesn't disappear. It just moves to a chair with worse posture. It's not that everything feels different on day one. It's that the default setting of being in public changes quietly, one turnstile at a time. Where is this going? Into more places where you used to be anonymous. Retail, transit, venues, anywhere there's a line and a cost to staffing it. The connection to AI is infrastructure. Facial recognition itself is just matching, but the databases it feeds can be used by other systems, for crowd prediction, for marketing, for law enforcement partnerships. Disney isn't alone here. Madison Square Garden was reported in 2026 to use similar tech to track individuals and enforce bans. Under current rules, companies and agencies can share or purchase data. The Fourth Amendment doesn't block data that was voluntarily given to a third party. That legal idea is why brokers sell location data, and why ICE has accessed it before. So the trajectory isn't toward smarter cameras. It's toward more cameras plugged into more databases. Realistically, the tech will get faster and cheaper, which means it will spread. If you like understanding how these systems actually work, like and subscribe, because the next step is usually not the camera itself. It's what plugs into it. The future isn't a big reveal. It's just today, but in more locations. The takeaway is simple. Facial recognition at a theme park gate isn't about safety. It's about replacing a repeated task with a lens and a server. The tech is real. The cost logic is real. And the data doesn't vanish when you leave the park. It works through the user interface, runs if/then rules on the back end, and turns your face into a number because numbers are cheaper to process than people. That's the whole thing. No grand shift, just a lot of small ones that add up. If you want to read more, it's all on talktindertech.com. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe because it isn't complicated. It's just new, and we're all getting used to it one beep at a time.